So it's time for another gardening week, and it's going to be a short one because I've been away for quite a bit of the week and I've been hiking and cycling for the rest of it. This is actually my first time on the allotment this week, Saturday, harvest day, and I'm just kind of going around just checking things out. Most of this gardening week is going to be about things that have gone wrong. So here's the first thing. I mean, these little cabbages look okay, they're just in the wrong place. I often do this. I get sort of over enthusiastic about getting things planted and it doesn't work out because my plans kind of change, and they're changing because I'm clearing this bed progressively down here of lettuces, and I really want to replant this whole bed to lettuce by early March. And obviously having those cabbages kind of stuck in there overpowering everything is not going to work out very well, so I'm going to get those dug up and get them replanted into actually the place they were meant to go, an old winter lettuce bed that again is also being cleared. So that's the first sort of thing that went wrong. This bed down here also had a lot of problems with stem rot in this bed. I'm not so worried about this at the moment. I think most of those lettuces will survive, but this is going to be replanted to Asian greens that I'm going to be sowing, well, next week sometime. So yeah, not too much of a disaster at this time of year. You know, it doesn't really matter if you get some in the wrong place, it will replant okay, and yeah, it shouldn't be any the worse for wear. So let me get those dug up. So as you can probably tell, this bed is not going to be full of lettuces for very long because these lettuces are looking a bit grotty, and just the last of the overwintered plants. So yeah, so I'll be taking these out over the next week or so, and hopefully these little cabbages will do okay. And I think next week I'll also take this out, put a calabrese in there, but I'm a bit short of lettuce, so I don't want to take anything out that I don't really need this week. Anyway, that's going to look a lot better. So let's stick to the theme of things going wrong. So in this bed, I've got my early savoys, and these are really being decimated by slugs. Just terrible problems on these leaves. It looks, to be honest, it looks more like caterpillar damage than slug damage, but I keep checking for caterpillars, I don't see any. So I think it just must be slugs. And I keep checking underneath the plants, but I never find any slugs, so they're obviously hiding out in the soil somewhere. But I have got replacements for these plants if I need them, and I might do, but for now I'm just seeing if I can get them to grow through it. So the next problem I've got in this bed is twofold really. So the first issue is this bed is extremely damp, and so I've been breaking the surface up to sort of break up this algae. You know, when you break the surface up with your fingers like this, then it just helps the surface to dry out, and then the algae can't grow as effectively on a dry surface. But every time I do this break up, then we just get rain after rain after rain, and it just capillary reactions up into this bed. So it stayed really damp, but it's okay, it'll pull through. The next issue that I've got is the lower leaves on some of these lettuces have got mildew. That is also, again, kind of risk when we've got a combination of warm weather, which we have now in February, with damp weather. And it generally is okay. Generally everything works out all right. You just remove the lower leaves and just let the younger leaves grow on, and normally that's fine. You know, I've had this so many times over the years, and yeah, just diligently remove affected leaves and hope for the best. And then in this bed, just the same issues with the algae growth and a few issues with slugs. You know, here's a classic example, but actually a lot of the plants are slug free, so I'm not overly worried. I'm just going to put a few pellets down this edge here just to try and manage the slug problems. I'm not harvesting this yet, even though I could, because it's big enough now for baby leaf harvest. I think I'll just leave it until next week. As I said, I'm short of lettuce, so I want to save this bed ideally in case I get very short of lettuce. So other than those lettuce problems, I'm actually quite happy. I've got plenty of leeks, still quite a lot of really nice Brussels sprouts, starting to get quite a nice harvest off the colettes now, and all those cabbages that I transplanted, they're all coming on quite nicely. And the spinach, yeah, that's really starting to grow now. So that's my oldest bed down there, and that'll be the one that'll be harvested first and cleared, and we'll put carrots in there. And then this bed is kind of coming on quite nicely with my salad spinach, and I've got some old spinach over there where I've got my calabrese and cauliflower interplants. So I just tidied that bed up there, that's where the cabbages were, so I'll get that replanted now with lettuce. I've got a really nice tray there, all ready to go. 2 little beetroot, that will just go in those 2 spots there. The beetroot's actually coming on really quite nicely. So today is the last pick of these Asian greens. As you can see, they're not going to survive very much longer. And the last pick of the tatsoi in this bed, and the komatsuma as well. But because the others are doing so well, I should be harvesting those next week, so it's nice to have a continuity. Before I get on with the harvest, I thought I'd just end on a high note. The purple sprouting broccoli is ready. So all this underneath this net, I've already harvested it, other than that little bit there. There'll be loads for next week as well. So finally got the harvest done, and actually, you know, despite all those little problems on the allotment that I showed earlier in the video, the harvest is actually pretty good. It's picking up really quite nicely, and this is exactly what I want really, just this table full of veg. I've actually got 30 different types of fruit and veg here. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. I've got loads of different stuff in these salads already, and I'm going to add the salad onions, the little baby leaf spinach, and the red rubel kale, the lamb's lettuce, tatsoi, the claytonia, and this red leaf sorrel. Actually, this is the first pick of the red leaf sorrel. It's looking really lovely, and that is it, I think, for the salads. And then I've got red pak choi. That's the last pick of that until the new season stuff is ready, which might be next week. Some apples. We haven't got very many apples left now, but just a few. Carrots, which kind of superficially look good, but they've all been chopped up to remove all the slug-eating bits. Perennial kale, colettes, actually loads of colettes at the moment. First real pick of the purple sprouting broccoli, and the bigger heads will start to come next week. More kales and more kales. I really love this sort of kale, you know, this really tightly curled kale. It's my absolute favourite at the moment, this time of year. Beetroot from the store. Brussels sprouts, looking really nice actually. Very pleased with those at this time of year. A couple of them had to be cleaned up, but mostly they're fine. Leeks, parsnips, cooking spinach. We've got loads of squash in the store, and potatoes from the store, and onions from the store. So I think that is pretty much it. Quite a nice harvest. I'll just make up those salads so you can see what they finally look like, and then I'm done. My name's Steve. This is the Seaside Kitchen Garden and Allotment channel, and I'll see you soon.